What's going on, Mitchell Renz, Tom Downey? You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports. We have the latest news and rumors. And Tom, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. We're going to talk about the news that's going down today. Mike McCarthy, you got it, my man. Go for it.
Cowboys have a new head coach. How quickly they move. They drag their feet on waiting to dump Jason Garrett. It was like, oh, God, are they going to drag this out all the way until January 14th when Garrett's contract expires? No, they didn't. They quickly move on to Mike McCarthy. There was some buzz that maybe once the Cowboys announced Garrett, they had somebody in mind. They ended up, that was the case. They've hired Mike McCarthy. He comes in after being fired by the Green Bay Packers last year, took a year off, tried to adjust. Okay, see, where did I go wrong? What changes do I need to make? In theory, those changes have been made. For the Cowboys, this works only if you're getting a different version of Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
If you just bring him in as the guy that got fired by the Green Bay Packers, guess what? It's not going to work. If he really took to heart the time off and learned the new modern NFL and what changes he has to make, well, then it's worthwhile. So we'll see if that actually is the case for Mike McCarthy. I am optimistic that he is. His former players are coming out in support for him. It's people from the Packers
he also said all the right things in the interview process.
And I hope that he really is serious about using analytics more. He's always been a little bit more aggressive than your average coach, but the in-game decision-making wasn't always the best. Hopefully that has changed. If that's the case, McCarthy does make sense for the Cowboys. If they were truly committed to only going after coaches with head coaching experience, NFL coaching experience, McCarthy was the best option out there.
Okay.
By far, frankly.
Remember, you guys are watching NFL Daily. Make sure you guys are interacting with us live on YouTube and on Facebook. But, Tom, the Cowboys did more than just hire a head coach. They also hired a DC.
Yeah, no rest for the wicked in this frontier. This was kind of mentioned not long after McCarthy was tabbed as the Cowboys head coach. The rumor came out, hey, watch out for Mike Nolan here. And it makes some sense. The Cowboys, I think, and I like this about them, they're allowing McCarthy to have his coaching staff, which normally isn't a big deal because that's how it almost always works out, right? But there was buzz, and I still see the stuff about, oh, yeah, the Cowboys are going to make McCarthy pick their current assistants, and clearly that's not the case. Nolan and McCarthy are familiar with each other. Mike Nolan was the head coach in San Francisco, where McCarthy was the offensive coordinator before he became the Green Bay Packers head coach. I will make note, by the way, as well, for Mike Nolan, dad coach for the Cowboys, and his family currently lives in the area as well. So Nolan coming in, it's a different scheme, different style than Chris Richard, frankly. I think that's a good thing.
So what we do here at Chat Sports, we want to know from everyone who's watching us right now on YouTube and on Facebook. And for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you might get hit with an ad break here. So I got a question. Is Mike McCarthy a good or bad hire by the Dallas Cowboys? I want you to type G for good, and I want you to type your B for bad. I'll ask you one more time. McCarthy, a good or bad hire by the Dallas Cowboys? Now let's talk about Henry Ruggs. He's going pro, a wide receiver that I've heard a lot about, perhaps maybe the fastest one coming out. Tom.
Mitch, do you like speed?
Is this a trick question? Am I being drug tested?
No, it's do you like speed? Hot, nasty, badass speed. Because
yeah,
that's
like
Henry Ruggs. I cannot wait to see what he runs. I hope he runs at the combine.
Tom's addicted to speed.
He legitimately has a chance to beat John Ross's time. Like, that's how fast we're talking about with Henry Ruggs.
Hopefully he has a better career than John Ross.
Yes, hopefully he stays healthy.
4.22, baby.
I wasn't that high on John Ross. I hated the Bengals taking him. You can go back and watch that live draft we did here. Ruggs turning pro, not a huge surprise. The NFL loves speed. That's why John Ross went so early. I know that the NFL Draft Advisory Board gave him a second-round grade. I don't know why. Normally, they're more cautious than overly aggressive. He goes in round one, probably in the top 15, 16 picks.
All right, Tom. So Henry Ruggs, he's got the speed. If you weren't high on John Ross, maybe you'll be a little bit higher on Henry Ruggs here. So who will draft wide receiver out of Alabama, Henry Ruggs? I want you guys to throw it in the comments section below. We'll give some shout-outs to some of the people on YouTube, on Facebook that come across with their answers. Tom, you're a betting man. I know that. Who's going to draft Henry Ruggs?
The Raiders might be your favorite just because they have two early first-round picks.
12 and 19.
I think his floor is at about 19.
Okay.
I don't know if he's off the board on 12. Depends on what happens with CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. Watch out for, as Maddie says in the comments, watch out for the Denver Broncos. I think they're looking for a receiver. If they can figure out what's going on at the cornerback position, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to go out and target a Henry Ruggs, pair him with Cortland Sutton. Now you're in good shape overall with that team.
So Broncos, Chargers from Devlin Dennis. Jacob says the Eagles. Matt Lynn, another with the Broncos. Continue to get your votes in here. Who will draft Henry Ruggs?
Let's move on now to Tom Brady. This has been a popular rumor out there because nobody knows what's going to happen next. So, Mitch, what's going on? Is he going to leave the Patriots and selling his house again?
I saw this rumor from NJ.com. So the rumor is that Brady's willing to take a big hit to his wallet and leave New England. Now, it's interesting because Tom Brady, Giselle, they don't really need money. I think we can both agree on that, Tom. And if he does want to out of New England, maybe selling your house would be an indication of it. Now, the house is on the market for $33.9 million. Doesn't really sound like he's going to be taking much of a pay cut.
So that's a reduction.
I laugh at this because the LA Times are the ones that came out and were talking about this. And, maybe the LA Times is talking about this because they want Tom Brady to go to the Chargers.
Fair.
And if anybody watched any of our past videos that we made, you'll know that we did a Tom Brady top free agency destinations video. Spoiler alert, the Chargers were one of those teams. Now you can also go see the top 10 teams that we had Tom Brady, if he hits free agency, he could potentially be going to. So one of the best reasons why that we should tell you guys to subscribe so you don't miss anything. If you love the NFL, if you love talking about where Tom Brady's going to play, the latest news, rumors, subscribe to Chat Sports so you don't miss a thing, even if the rumor is around Tom Brady leaving New England.
Denver's a pretty popular comment in there. Maybe that's on the video as well. Only one way to find out. All right, on the flip side of Tom Brady possibly leaving is him staying with the Patriots, which I still think makes a lot of sense.
I think it makes the most sense. And to be honest, if Brady leaves, if they let him leave,
don't give away
it's kind of idiotic. That's all I'm saying. So apparently, there's a report out there that The Athletic, they turned to 6 unnamed NFL executives to get their thoughts on what the future is going to hold for Tom Brady. One of them, of course, said, he's going to leave. But the other 5 were like, nah, he'd end up, more than likely going to stay. But the one executive come out and said that he thinks that Brady's going to get a 3-year, $90 million fully guaranteed deal, which is interesting,
really?
Tom. Which is interesting because Brady did say back in March that he hopes to be able to play until 45 years old. But 3 years, $90 million, that's $30 million a year. I can do the math there. Now, here are the highest paid quarterbacks. We know that Brady has in the past taken a hit. But again, when you're selling your house for $33.9 million, do you really need the money? I
got to be honest here. I don't know about giving 42, soon-to-be 43-year-old Tom Brady $30 million guaranteed each of the next 3 years. I don't. That's a lot of money, Mitch. Yeah, he's not the same guy anymore, which is fine. He's 42. He's not supposed to be.
Yes, he's definitely fallen off a little bit. But Tom Brady, I don't know if you could really point everything at him. I mean, he lost Josh Gordon, Rob Gronkowski, heck, even Chris Hogan, his main targets. Lost his left tackle on Isaiah Wynn, his center. And, he still put up 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I think the only difference here was he also lost Antonio Brown. The difference was Brady isn't elite anymore like he used to be.
FAB in the comments.
FAB is always welcome in the comments. But he's not elite anymore, so you need to put a little bit more around him.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think that's the real question.
All right, so how much longer, another question here, will Tom Brady play? How many more years do you think he has left in him, Mitch? You giving him the full 3?
I think he's plays for another 3 years. See, anytime you doubt Tom Brady, if Brady wants to play till he's 50...
Wait, didn't we just doubt him against the Titans, and look what happened?
I also think that had a little bit more to do with Derrick Henry. I mean, Ryan Tannehill threw for 82 yards, and they won that football game. I mean, Derrick Henry was a stud.
Yeah, they just won very, very easily here as well. All right, now today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. If you bet on the Titans, I'm sure you're feeling pretty good about that. Head over to BetDSI and bet on the NFL playoffs. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120 for 120% deposit bonus. That's chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code NFL120. Sticking with our theme of quarterbacks here, Carson Wentz, who apologized to his teammates because he got a concussion. This doesn't seem right, man.
I was just going to say, am I the only one that freaking hates this? So Wentz, is finally able to get into a postseason game. It lasted only 8 plays. He was knocked out on the second drive by a helmet hit to Jadeveon Clowney. So now, apparently he's apologizing to players. That's what Malcolm Jenkins said. And we know that this, entire thing around Carson Wentz is he's injury prone, or at least a lot of people say that he's injury prone, and I get it. He's suffered some injuries in the past. I mean, 2015, back with North Dakota State, missed 8 weeks. And then in August 11 of 2016, he suffered a hairline fracture of his ribs in the preseason, but he did play in the entire season. December 10th, 2017, tore his ACL and LCL. If he would not have done that, probably goes on to win the MVP. And then in 2018, suffers a spinal comprehension fracture and missed the rest of the season.
Compression. Ironically, Mitch saying comprehension factor because you can't read.
Well, that's a fact too. But the only thing that I hate, Tom, and we'll bring the question up here, a head injury is not the same as all those other injuries. And if you think so, shame on you.
So feel free to chime in, everyone watching live on Facebook, live on YouTube. If you think Carson Wentz is injury prone, Y for yes, N for no. I don't think you can use this particular injury as an example of a player being injury prone. At the same time, Wentz has suffered some injury every year he's played, dating even back to his middle of his North Dakota State days. So, he is injury prone. I don't think it's fair to use this concussion as an example, but he got banged up this year. He always seems to get banged up. And if it were a player like Russell Wilson, who's never hurt, we don't bring up the injury-prone conversation around the concussion. It's brought up, fair or not, because Wentz is always hurt. And I think that's a fair concern about him moving forward.
So Tony Crane on YouTube says yes. Lowell says yes. I'm seeing a no from Jared Sanchez. Well, is Carson Wentz injury-prone? Y for yes, N for no. I guess we can talk about the quarterback that filled in for Carson Wentz here.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain yourself on this one,
This is just a bullshit article, I believe, from NewJersey.com. It was just eye-popping. They go on to say, Eagles' Josh McCown is the next great NFL head coach, and the Giants should hire him right now, okay? And they also go on to say, ask anyone around the Eagles building, and they'll tell you McCown has a bright future as a head coach in the NFL. But, he's got to retire again. And Tom, I'll be honest, I love Josh McCown. I think he is one of the most entertaining. Him and Ryan Fitzpatrick, to me, are two people that I absolutely love watching football. But the one argument that NJ.com makes is, well, Josh McCown has played for basically everyone, so he knows a lot of different schemes. I could also look at that and say...
Okay, that's fair.
I could also look at that and say, well, it didn't really work out with those teams.
Hey, my cousin Jeremy, a Detroit Lions fan, loved him when he was in Detroit for that brief time.
He also played for the Hartford Colonials back in 2010, if anybody cares.
You can't just make up stuff and throw it in.
But, look at all these teams that McCown has played for. He definitely has had experience. He's gone around the league. He's got, more experience than I do here in Dallas, if you know what I'm saying. He played for the Panthers in 2008 to 2009. 49ers, Bears, Buccaneers. There's no doubt he's bounced around the league. The Browns, the Jets, and now recently with the Eagles. He's retired before. Will he retire again? Yeah.
Look, I don't mind bringing in McCown as an assistant coach. I have no problem for that whatsoever. But you can't just bring him in as your head coach. It's a horrible idea.
It's foolish to even think about.
I have a very high standard for my head coach. You must have been a coach before. I didn't realize that was such an exorbitant request.
Apparently you have higher standards than what you wear, too, because I just wore a T-shirt today.
It's a collared shirt. You can't really tell because it's black, but it is indeed a collared shirt. Now, my shirt's cool. Mitch's also very cool because it's from Chat Sports. If you need some gear repping your favorite team, if your team's still alive in the postseason, we got a deal for you. Head over to chatsports.com/NFL playoffs. That is chatsports.com/NFL playoffs. Check the description. Check the comments. We will put that link in there for you. If your team is still alive, they've got some awesome NFL playoffs gear. Niners, Chiefs, Seahawks, you're all still alive. Go celebrate your team's success so far this year with some awesome new gear, shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff at chatsports.com/NFL playoffs. All right, a team out of the playoffs and never made it this year was the Dallas Cowboys. They've dismissed Jason Garrett. Could he go to the New York Giants, as has been rumored before, Mitchell?
So basically, CBS just wrote, since now Jason Garrett is out, that he believes if Garrett is to coach again this season, it's going to be for the New York Giants, a team that, he once played for. I just don't know if Garrett, you've kind of said it before, we think that he should take a year off. But if CBS is putting it out there, people are talking about it. We know that they fired Pat
By the way,
Shurmur.
I'm loving the clap emojis coming in already. That's very,
get him in.
Very
Jason Garrett, get him in the clap emojis here. Always, always welcome. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. We just talked about two coaches, and I'm going to make you choose.
It's a no-brainer decision.
I agree. But I just want to see.
Jason Garrett.
I could not agree more, but I want to see what people say, because if there is one person I feel like over the last, I'll say, week that our channel has hated on, It could be Jason Garrett. So who's a better coach?
Easily Garrett.
I agree.
It's without a doubt Jason Garrett. What I
and yet the M's are flowing in here.
Oh, it's G's. The G's have a little bit more there. Like, all your arguments for McCown are basically what you made about Jason Garrett when he first started coaching. Like, we are aware of that, right? Not a great starter, but a good backup, smart guy. What I think Garrett should do, and I'll make this note very quickly.
Anthony Meatball, M.
Sit out a year and take the Mike McCarthy patch and try and rehab your stock and see if you can figure out where your clearly needed adjustments have to be.
Well, I don't know if you see this comment. Farty Talon says, how much y'all want to bet Browns are going to hire Garrett?
I'm not going to rule it out.
It's be pretty interesting. So
Well,
why not? Let's talk about it.
We have an update here for you on the Browns. Brian Daboll set to interview for the head coaching job Monday. Another interview candidate for the Browns. They've cast a very wide net. I actually like this fit a lot for Cleveland. If this is the route they go and if they're willing to take on a coach who has never been an NFL head coach before.
I mean, it looks like they're looking for an OC, right? I mean, I feel like most NFL teams in today's, they're looking for an OC. Daboll, also, McDaniels could be going in there, a native of Canton, Ohio. And then plus, you got Kevin Stefanski, other finalists. I mean, the Browns, they might be making a decision. Well, hopefully it's not as quick as what the Cowboys made.
Yeah, we'll see how long the Browns take. I think they'll take some time. But we want to know from you guys, who do you think will be the next Browns head coach? Of course, they're also searching for a new, I don't want to say GM, but front office decision maker is the nice general way to go about that one. I think with Dorsey being out, I think that helps the case for Josh McDaniels, who I think Haslam wants quite a bit if they can agree on a
Would you really trust Josh McDaniels?
No, I wouldn't. But also, it's Cleveland. You might as well swing for the fences. It's just kind of my mindset.
What can go wrong? Trade for OBJ. So who will be the Browns' next head coach? Throw it in here on YouTube and Facebook.
Someone said Hugh Jackson.
I'll give some shout-outs here. Somebody said Odell Beckham Jr.
You can't bring in Marvin Lewis because Marvin wants to bring in Hugh Jackson, and he can never step foot in Cleveland again.
Winston Shan, Trump to the Browns. Wow. See, I told you guys we should do a debate 2020.
Jeff Fisher is gross. So they just tried the 7-9 mindset there. I don't really think that's a fantastic idea. Greg Roman, not a bad idea either there from TCY.